Very good evening to all the industry captains present here. On behalf of Laghu Udyog Bharati Karnataka chapter, I personally welcome each of you to this session with Sri Om Prakash Saklecha, Honorable Minister for MSME, IT, Science and Technology, Government of Madhya Pradesh, on the theme Opportunities in the State of Madhya Pradesh. May I request my President P.S. Shrikanta Datta to kindly escort our chief guest, Sri Om Prakash Saklecha, onto the dais, please. Can I invite Sri Narayana Prasanna, General Secretary, LUBK, to kindly escort Sri Manjunatha Arabettu, Chief Financial Officer, AS and UX, Apple India. I now request Sri Naveen Lakur, Chief Innovation Coach, Institute of Inspiring Innovation, to kindly step onto the dais, please. Before I hand over to Sri Naveen Lakur to moderate the session, a brief profile of Sri Lakur. Mr. Naveen Lakur is the founder and Chief Innovation Coach at Institute of Inspiring Innovation. Corporate divisions such as Dell, R&D, Mercedes-Benz Research and Development, Standard Chartered Bank, TCS Healthcare, Fujifilm, Saricol, Crimson Logic have utilized his services to nurture their HR capital with innovation competencies. Mr. Naveen is a serial entrepreneur turned innovation coach. He loves to inspire enterprises and entrepreneurs to innovate and guide them to grow in the right direction. In his professional career spanning 25 years in the industry worldwide, he has co-founded several innovative companies. He has also been a catalyst for 250 plus ideas to have become commercial realities. He is passionate about sharing his practical knowledge of building companies and nurturing ideas. He brings to the table his personal experience of unique combination of systemic innovation, a structured and scalable approach, and tactical innovation, a frugal and flexible approach. Mr. Lakur is also actively involved in mentorship of startups worldwide. Besides his active engagement with industry, he indulges in writing books with international recognition, and he loves telling business stories. Now I invite Sri Naveen Lakur to kindly deliver the welcome and theme-setting address. Sir, please.
So much for this warm welcome. Very nice to be here. You know, because the interesting people with the interesting background and the kind of combination which is there today here, where innovation needs to happen if the country needs to progress, if companies, entrepreneurship is the way to build a sustainable economy, right? Because three things happen. One is entrepreneurs identify a problem worth solving and they solve it. Second is that rather than seeking jobs, they're providing jobs. And third is that, you know, good people need to create value and wealth. And entrepreneurship is a way to do it. And here, if we look at, for that to really happen, and today in this world, that time at which we are all living, we are living in a global world. And what does it mean? Create locally, serve globally. And for that, technology plays a big role. And innovation in technology is critical and essential, right? Here we have a set of people, which is you as entrepreneurs, who are coming with that background and the power of execution with brilliant ideas in your mind as technology entrepreneurs and technopreneurs. And technology today has become part and parcel of every initiative, right? So for other leg, which is very important to support it, is the policies. It's about the platform which the government can do, right? And today, it's our honor and an opportunity to listen to our minister from Madhya Pradesh, who is in the MSME, he's a minister for IT, and he's the minister for the science and technology, right, which is playing a critical role. So you will get to hear him, and he's the chief guest. And the other leg, which is another important one to support, is from the finance. Right? You need for entrepreneurial initiatives, and what does it mean? And along with technology, the finance and the policies, innovation there. And we have Dr. Manjunath, who is a doctor, not by profession as a medical doctor. He's gone deep into learning finance, and that's his doctorate in finance management. So very interesting combination, three important legs for the country to progress, for your companies to progress, for making an impact in the global world that we are living today. So with that as a backdrop, I think we all would have not met if the president here of Laghu Udyog Bharati, which is the Laghu Udyog Bharati as a platform to support MSMEs in India, and they understand the role that why technology is playing a big role. And they want to, it's a combination, fantastic combination of industries and, the traditional businesses, which are small and medium-sized enterprises, even the micro, how they could collaborate and support the technology entrepreneurs, right? Because if you take every industry, take finance, it's become fintech as an industry. You take medical industry, it has become medtech. Healthcare at a larger level is health tech. And if you agri-tech, it's not, it's become a fantastic combination as inseparable twins. Technology is becoming one side. The other side is the industry segments. Together, it's a fantastic combination and a powerful combination. It's like two eyes seeing one thing in the third dimension, right? It's creating that as an opportunity. And MSME sector as Laghu Udyog Bharati, which is a support organization, and they're all entrepreneurs themselves, but want to support the other companies to excel and startups to associate, bring technology and innovation together to make a difference. It's honor to invite Shrikanta Datta, who is the president for Laghu Udyog Bharati Karnataka, to come and welcome all of you, right, to give a welcome address. Yes.
Respected Honorable Minister for Information Technology, ITBT, Science and Technology, Government of Madhya Pradesh, and our chief guest, Dr. Manjunath, Sri Naveen Lakur, my colleague Sri Narayan Prasanna, all the distinguished guests who have come here. It's indeed a pleasure for all of us to organize this meeting, and Laghu Udyog Bharati is really blessed to have this kind of a interaction meeting with the Honorable Visiting Minister for MSMEs ITBT from Madhya Pradesh to talk about the opportunities that are available in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and also to explore all the collaborative efforts that we can put together to drive the MSME and the IT segment. So it's really a very good opportunity, and on behalf of Laghu Udyog Bharati and all the members here, I once again extend a most respectful welcome to the Honorable Minister here. And just a few minutes back, Sri Bhojraj was mentioning that Honorable Minister is aware of the activities of Laghu Udyog Bharati, and he had opportunity to meet our past President Sri Jitendra Gupta, and has had many meetings with the LUB team of Madhya Pradesh. So I don't have to go at length to tell the Honorable Minister about what Laghu Udyog Bharati all India level is doing. But however, I would just like to take the opportunity to brief the Honorable Minister about the activities of LUB Karnataka, and also to the audience who are here for this meeting. Laghu Udyog Bharati Karnataka is one of the state chapters of All India organization, which has more than 27,000 members, and at All India level, we are operating in about 400 districts across nearly 20 states, 22 states of the country. LUB Karnataka was formed about 18 years back and is headquartered in Bangalore. We have about 1,000 members drawn from various segments of the industry, from small entrepreneurship, from artisans, from women entrepreneurs to the startups, to the tech companies. We have branches in Hubli, Belgaum, and other places also. We have a very close rapport and network very well with the bureaucracy and the state government of the state here. And in fact, we keep attending many consultative meetings and policy making decisions conveyed by the state government and central governments, and we engage with them and help them in bringing out policies that are helpful to MSMEs. Apart from that, we also conduct many awareness programs, because just bringing out a policy also would not help. We need to convey that to the members, to the general society, to the entrepreneurs. And there we play a key role in organizing many awareness programs. We have done in the past many events on GST, on the new labor codes, and also on the Atmanirbhar schemes of the union government. We have a large contingent of women entrepreneurs who are working with the women entrepreneurship segment, and they are conducting many programs, many specific tailor-made programs that help them, like financial literacy and marketing, extending marketing support to them. And some of our rural entrepreneurs are also, women entrepreneurs are going to the rural areas. They are identifying women-made products, and they offer them all the logistics, give them the infrastructure here, and bring them here and allow them to exhibit their products so that they get an urban exposure. And we have a very active B2B portal also on that. We have a very special platform called Kusuru Mane to help the artisans and the women products, particularly in the food and other sectors like that. Then this COVID has taught us a lot of lessons, particularly when we depend on too much of imports on technology and other things. So with the guidance of the central team, we are working on a cluster called Utpadana Samuh, where we have been assigned specific tasks to identify such components and sub-assemblies which have a very large import content. So we are studying on all that, and we would like to see how we can develop indigenous substitutes for those import content, so that it helps the local entrepreneurs as well as helps the country also, in reducing the import dependence actually. We are also working very closely on the Gramashilpi Prakoshta. Karnataka is home to well-known art culture. We have a lot of traditional arts, particularly on hand toys and brass works and all. Places like Channapatna are very well known even in the international market. But these days, due to urbanization, these local artisans are finding it difficult to compete and come to the open market. So Laghu Udyog Bharati has taken this initiative under Gramashilpi Prakoshta, and we are reaching out to those segments. And in particular, we have identified one remote place in a village called Kinnal, where about 50 to 60 members of the family are engaged in the traditional artwork. We have done a diagnostic study, and we are joined in by our efforts with the Indian Institute of Science and other leading institutions also, where they are trying to help them in providing the required assistance, whether it is setting up of any establishments, common facilities, or sourcing raw materials like that and all. So that is also being done. And other than that, I will take only 2-3 minutes to tell about our flagship events. One is the India Manufacturing Show, and the other one is the Tech Bharat, sir. Laghu Udyog Bharati is very passionate about manufacturing and the MSME sectors. And much before the Make in India campaign was started by the Honorable Prime Minister, we started focusing on local manufacturing. And that is how the concept of India manufacturing came up. And we try to give them a common platform to the small entrepreneurs. And we are conducting a large international exhibition once in 2 years at Bangalore International Center. This is one wonderful platform where the small industries and large industries come together and they exchange their business ideas. And many of the participants have been benefited by participating. And alongside this international exhibition, we also have concurrent seminars, and also particularly on technology transfer and adopting the best practices in manufacturing. And these seminars have been very well attended and received very well by the members and participants, sir. And we have successfully conducted 4 events in the past from 2010, and we had the privilege of well-known industry names to guide and motivate us. Like one edition, Baba Kalyani was there, then Sachin Jindal was there, then Vikram Kirloskar was there. So all these people were there, and even Anand Mahendra was at the inaugural session in the earlier event, sir, and they gave us a lot of help and motivation. And this year, India Manufacturing Show, we are planning to have it in the month of September, between 27th of September to 29th. In fact, a few days back, during the inaugural, our Honorable Chief Minister was kind enough to announce that also. He has extended his full support to the show. And this time, we would like to focus on defense and aerospace, and we are working out the details. And sir, we seek your kind support, participation from the state of Madhya Pradesh also. We will come and meet you at your office with the details, sir, in the coming months, actually. And India and, of course, Bangalore is the IT hub, and Bangalore is the IT capital of, known as the IT capital. So there is a large number of startups, and I am told nearly about 70 to 80% of the global IT companies have their R&D centers or have their operations in Bangalore. And we have a huge talent of technocrats coming out from various engineering colleges and finishing schools. So we have created a special platform called Tech Bharat, which is focused mainly on innovation and startups, actually. So this is a recent thing which happened just last year. And last year, in the month of January, we had one Pan-India conference for startups, sir, and that was held in Bangalore only. Nearly about 400 startups nearly about 400 startups 40 startups had come, and about 500 visitors, and there were nearly 600 delegates. We could identify about 8 to 10 good startups who showed a lot of promise, and they were also rewarded, and they are on a very good path of progress. And the whole event has been mentored and guided by Sri Chris Gopal Krishna. He is with us, guiding us. And last time the event was focused on doing business with government, because we see a lot of opportunities of doing business with so much of digital interventions happening. And we are planning the second edition of Tech Bharat, and already the pre-events have happened. And this second edition, we are focusing on education and healthcare. Healthcare, of course, is the subject, and with hardly about 1.5% of GDP going into healthcare, we see a lot of thrust now, particularly when we see what happened over the last 2-3 years. And Karnataka is emerging as one of the hotspots for medical tourism and healthcare education also, sir. And after the introduction of the new health policy, there are a lot of changes that are happening. We are working out how we can collaborate with the government, with the private stakeholders also, in helping them create the digital transformation for healthcare. Education also is gaining a lot of momentum. The traditional ways are also being supported by the online education system, the distant learning, and e-library and all. So we are at Tech Bharat, we are working on these areas and providing a platform for the new education system that's going to be there in the coming years, sir. And we are also tied up with many of the leading education institutions here in Bangalore and other places also, where we conduct a large number of EDP programs, and we motivate them. Our team goes there. We also arrange some factory visits and industry visits to the people who are showing a lot of interest, sir. So these are some of our activities, and the government of Karnataka also is very actively supporting the industries, and Karnataka is a favored destination. Just last week, our Honorable Minister for Large and Medium Industries has released a new industrial policy, which I have just given a copy to you also, sir. And there's a lot of thrust and focus on the technology adoption, on startups, and on digital interventions. And we have created some unique schemes also, which you may kindly go through later, sir. And I was told Madhya Pradesh also is doing extremely well under your guidance, sir. And we hear a lot about Indore and Bhopal, which are being now looked at as the tech hubs of the country. And we would like to hear from you, sir, about those things, what are happening there. And we look to a very close collaborative effort. And it would be our pleasure, sir, to seek your guidance and seek your thoughts on the opportunities that are prevailing in the state of Madhya Pradesh and how we here also can join together. Yes, sir. And the audience, for your kind information, sir, all of them are from the technology adoption centers. There are many leading companies who are being represented by the elite audience here, and they are keen to hear to you, sir, on these things. So with this, I would like to conclude and would like to thank you all for the opportunity given. I would also like to take the opportunity to extend a very hearty welcome to Sri Dattatri. He is the Vice Chairman of Karnataka State Small Scale Industries Association. We have two major bodies in the state, sir. One is Karnataka Small Scale Industries Association. The other one is KIDB, which is promoting the industrial development. And KSSIDC in particular helps the small industries by giving them small bits of land, by giving them the prefabricated units also. And they are working in many ways now to engage with the industry. And the Vice Chairman is very proactive. He has taken up many steps even to help the industries on material procurement and streamlining many of those things, sir. I also welcome Sri Mohan Suresh, the Honorary Council of Rwanda, who is here for the meeting. So with these words, I would like to conclude and thank you all for the opportunity given. Thank you.
Thank you for that welcome note. And for all of you, while he's welcomed, it's important for us to know that he's an industrialist himself, and they have a manufacturing unit, manufactures for large brands in the footwear, and he's passionate about wanting to support the other industrialists and budding entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and passionately participating in nurturing. So a round of applause for that kind of support coming in, right? So important if the entrepreneurs, the younger ones, would want to listen to those who have been there, done that. Otherwise, it becomes concepts. And only those people who have built companies and running, they know the operational pains of what it means to build a company and run it. And the support system, which makes a big difference, right? So that is what Laghu Udyog Bharati is about, bringing such people, industrialists, to support others too. While what you give comes back to you in multiples. So they are giving these wonderful good things. I'm sure they will also benefit, right? And the same principle is being applied even at the government level. Today, the chief guest is our Honorable Minister in Madhya Pradesh, Om Prakash ji. Interesting name, right? The Om, the Bija Mantra, the very, very powerful thing. And he has the Prakash. And for you all to know, first, I heard that, you like innovation and you like being creative. So I thought I'm not going to go by your typical profile thing. I'm going to be creative and innovative, try to see how we can present him. Because for you all, it's important data to recognize that he's a politician, right? That comes from in his blood. Because his father was the ex-chief minister in Madhya Pradesh. Today, when he's here, one of the criteria that he had is he said, we have to start on time, right? Point to be noted. And he did. Typically, people think, political and politicians coming in, they will come at their time and so on. So it wasn't. It was his condition that it has to start on time. So a round of applause for that. This is about changing. And more than that, so he is an entrepreneur himself. Did you know that, at the age of 18, he became an entrepreneur? Okay, started his business 30 years. He's been an entrepreneur before he became, took very active participation in politics. So he understands the pains of operating and starting and building a company. And being an industrialist, he knows the pulse. Very smart. Obviously, now you know that he's been an entrepreneur himself. And in my book, Inseparable Twins, I have one chapter called Give and Get. Okay, so he, being an entrepreneur, understands that he's here to give. to give what he is developing and taken initiatives with his team in Madhya Pradesh, which is bubbling with proactiveness and taking so many initiatives. And he's very smart. He knows that Bengaluru is the IT capital, and at the same time, it's the startup capital of India. And very recently, you all know that, you all made it possible that the most vibrant ecosystem in the world for startups is Namma Bengaluru. So a round of applause for yourself. As much as he wants to share and give what is possible from India and from Madhya Pradesh for the entrepreneurs, the technopreneurs, and which has become part and parcel of every industry, he's also here to get. He wants to know, what do you want and how do you want to participate to make, locally and serve globally? Okay, what is that you want? And how can you support India grow, right? So he's very interested to learn from you all. What is that you are doing? So it's an opportunity, and today it's an opportunity and a platform for interaction. So it's going to be a lot of interaction, and as you know, stage is set. It's not a bhashan, it is interaction. So here is a politician, a businessman, an entrepreneur, and for your information, he studied commerce. And in the Mumbai University in higher education, he is a gold medalist. So he's a very learned man. He understands commerce. So you are talking business to him. And he is here to give and get. So before we get into listen to his words and what opportunities that Madhya Pradesh is bringing, we would like to felicitate these wonderful people on stage, and we have our president of Laghu Udyog Bharati. Can I request you to felicitate him before we get into interaction?
It's an honor for me and Laghu Udyog Bharati.
Yes, please do that. Thank you so much. And the other gentleman, as guest of honor, is Dr. Manjunath, as I said, Adibettu, right? Adibettu, right? And very localite. I understood that he studied in MES College.
That's correct.
Oh, so Namma Bengaluru Udga. And at the same time, gone global, served as a CFO for Aptiv India. He's achieved quite a bit, participated in as a financial expert in strategy, in operations, and helped nurture companies. So he understands again the pains, and one of the most important vitamin is the vitamin M in entrepreneurial journeys and scaling companies. So he understands that very well. So it's an honor to have him here and amongst us, and you're going to get some tips and wisdom as technopreneurs. A lot of them understand technology very much, but we miss out on the other side, which is how important the finance plays, right? Including how you price it, how do you go global, to how do you hedge, and whatnot. Valuation, right? Today we talk about the unicorns, and it's all in billions, even though we trade in rupees, in dollars, right? So the big numbers. So here is a person who would share some thoughts. And to honor him and felicitate, can I request General Secretary of Laghu Udyog Bharati, Karnataka, That is Mr. Narayanan Prasanna. So again, it's the Prasanna, and he's the Narayana. He's here. I don't know if it is a coincidence. Yes.
I request our Vice President, Sri B.S. Srinivasan, as well as Sri Bhojaraj ji, both of you, sir. Bhojaraj ji.
So now you know why he plays a perfect general secretary. So he is ensuring his other members who are the secretary and the vice president, everybody is included. So he believes in inclusion. So here he has. And it's not a coincidence that today why Narayanan Prasanna is here, because it's Madhya Pradesh, right? And we all relate Madhya Pradesh and Bhopal. What do you think of Madhya Pradesh and Bhopal when those come together? Sorry? Narayana Prasanna is also an innovator. While he is an industrialist and he runs his company and so on, he's also an innovator. One interesting innovation that I heard that he's been part of is to stop gas leak or identify and prevent gas leak. Now, don't ask me, is it a coincidence that he is there on the stage today? And while Madhya Pradesh definitely wants the past to be forgotten, and while we create the new things in such a way, the new history is going to be created, and technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, these are all the requirements and the prerequisite. And here you all are there, and the will is there with the government, and they are taking fantastic initiatives. Let us hear from our Honorable Minister as to what opportunities does Madhya Pradesh present. Over to you, sir. Would love to hear you. So enlighten us with opportunities, and as entrepreneurs, they love opportunities. So, and here you are to present it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. आज के चीफ स्पेशल गेस्ट श्री मंजू नत्था, श्री PS श्रीकांता, श्री नवीन लक्कुर. I'm sorry I don't properly pronounce the name. Sri HVS Krishnaji, Sri Narayana Prasannaji, Sri Bhojrajji, and whole team of Laghu Udyog Bharati and all the entrepreneurs who believe to accept always the challenges of the coming time. Really, it's a privilege to be talking to you, because everyone is a special one. Everyone has some very, very unique quality. The role of usually so-called politician or developer or innovator is to place everybody in a proper place. Because everybody is a master. He's master of his field. So you only have to understand that you should know that where to put whom and why. Once if it is proper placed, or it is saying that a good planning is half success. So I think this Laghu Udyog Bharati did a very good exercise in such a short notice, 2 days, to have a good team to talk. See, Madhya Pradesh is the heart of the state, heart of the country. It's a center part. Today we are surplus with power, surplus with full of land, with enough trained manpower to place in any work. We offer the land at the most economical whatsoever you can think, we offer at that price. Say 4 to 5 lakh rupee a acre, up to that rate we can offer a land. We offer the gap funding for the initial startup to train their manpower. If they want to have any special skills, the training cost also can be borne by the state. We also offer, if anybody wants to develop as a real estate developer for any industrial IT park, we offer the land, we allow them to construct 40% non-IT purpose. Let it be commercial or residential. So he recover his cost out of 40% and the profit, and 60% is free of cost. See, when the new entrepreneur comes and start, if his loading is reduced on the investment of infrastructure, we also offer plug and play spaces. We already have enough space available, ready to move in Indore, Bhopal, Gwalior, Jabalpur, all the 4 places. Our Honorable Prime Minister has created an environment where the biggest crisis become biggest opportunity. Now it is you who has to convert that opportunity into reality and reality into the commercial value. I always believe in one more thing. All the people, we are doing business for earning the profit. But the day we start thinking that we are earning for the goodwill, we are not earning for the bread, we are earning for the goodwill, and profit is the byproduct, then our profit becomes multiple. Because our focus is then the quality and the work, and that becomes our strength. At time I say, in any profession you go, you have to understand that what are the ways we can make ourselves better than others. Because it is a very, very competitive world. Let it be anything. You might be developer for anything, but for few years, few months. Because now we can't wait for years. It's only few months in IT. So within few months you have to be as competitive as the others. So you have to be round the clock continuous a thinker and thinking onto a different direction. The state of Madhya Pradesh offer all possible support. We are now coming up with lot many new product in IT also. We are also trying to have our own very big data storage system with an investment of around 200 crore in MP in another 3 months' time. Next month we are offering the tender. We are also coming out with a lot of supporting staff in other places also. So that anybody who comes and want to do, if I offer a plug and play space and at I think 18 rupees a square feet, which is usually in Bangalore, that is the maintenance charges people charge, 10 to 15 rupees. I'm giving on 18% ready to move space in day 1. We say that start your business in 30 days means we believe that on 30th day, if anybody is delaying, then that officer is being punished financially as well as other thing. It's a right to get the services bill we have adopted first time in India, that is Madhya Pradesh. We are also offering and providing all kind of, infrastructure support in the sense transport, if there is a need to provide any other special services, because we need the employment and we are changing all our policies slowly, because in the country, the policy was all the subsidy and the grant were given on the basis of the investment. Because 30 years before or 40 years before, everything was dependent on what investment are you doing. But today we don't talk about what investment is the issue. Now we are talking how much employment are you giving and what kind of viability gap funding you need. So the number, if you employ more than 500 people and you say that, okay, I need this kind of support of 5,000 rupee a person for his training or for creating his skill up to the level, or we want for 1 year to get a support, we can offer even that. That we offer that the number of employee you do, up to 5,000 rupee per month, we give viability gap funding for each employee. So that initially to start up, you should be on a strong footing. We are, if I say, it is one of the most peaceful, without any caste angle in the general environment. Because recently, a lot of state is having caste angle fights. Like Tamil Nadu is upper caste and lower caste and different places. But in Malwa and in Madhya Pradesh, there is no caste angle at all visible in the usual life. So that is also a one good, very supporting angle. We are offering anybody the land, and the infrastructure is so that from the airport you cannot take more than 20 minutes to come to the IT park, and from railway station again 20 minutes, and from city again 20 minutes. So it's a very time saving, and your energy which in transport, which is being wasted, is actually a business loss, according to me. Because these are all the things. Here, if I had seen people take at least 2 to 3 hours, it means 20% to 30% of their efficiency in traveling. So 30% is a lot of money. So all those things are available, and the technology has made whole of world in a pocket. You can sit anywhere and do any kind of work. So wherever your time is saved, where your cost is saved, wherever your environment is positive, you don't have any other arguing angle, so your delivery can become better. One more thing I wanted to mention, that Malwa is a very positive zone of the country, where people believe to help each other a lot. And I just say that anything if you are doing, you will find I'm always with you, at the back of you, to achieve your target, because by achieving your target, my target will be achieved, because my target is only to create the employment, nothing else. And this is the biggest challenge as on today throughout the world, country. We might be in Karnataka, we might say that Bangalore is overloaded, but if I go to the interior part, here also you'll see a lot of people doesn't get suitable employment. And that is what for our Honorable Prime Minister and our Honorable Chief Minister has created Atmanirbhar Bharat वाक्य. वो वाक्य केवल वर्ड नहीं है, उसको अचीव करने के लिए वो सब every angle of possible support we are giving. Because we were the first when Honorable Prime Minister said that we may have to make Atmanirbhar Bharat. Next day he said Atmanirbhar Bharat ke saath Atmanirbhar Madhya Pradesh pehle banega, tabhi Atmanirbhar Bharat banega. This is the spirit of our Honorable Chief Minister. And that spirit delivers that thing. If you need any kind of support, any kind of questions, I'm here to answer. Our target is very clear. Our aim is clear. Technology and AI, any kind of thing is there. We have many, highest number of engineering colleges. We are also tying up with the college that they are prepared to aid. If you say that I need this specific kind of skill set, so we can ask them in last final year or 2 years that you aid on your subject, these more subjects and train them, so you get ready to work from day one, because here the efficiency is also matter. Because earlier we used to take time, okay, we take any work, any person, we say, okay, 2 months, 3 months, he'll take training, he'll understand our company culture, and we can afford to pay. But in today's competitive world, we can't afford to even ask him to sit idle for a day. Because day means 8 hours working, 8 hours working means 720 minutes. 480 minutes. So every minute is a accountability. So we are open on all kind of aspect. And I invite all of you to come, any kind of support, any kind of queries you have in mind, I'm here to answer. And nothing more to be talked. I think I have covered all possible angles. It's a good, one more angle, it's India's biggest forest sanctuary also. Very good two of this Ujjain and the biggest Shiva's places. Lot of cultural values is there in MP, you'll find. So let's start with a good, positive hope, and any question you have. Yeah. Today morning we were discussing, some automobile people are also here, I've been told. We have Asia's biggest auto testing track. It's made out of 1,000-acre plus, and all kind of testing is being done. And it is near to Indore, about 40 kilometers, Indore airport. And all kind of vehicle testing can be done. So that is also, we have best of automobile joints, best of engineering workshop. Recently I'd been, some inquiry came that Volkswagen and these kind of companies also want to set up their design section of the world in the Bhopal. They were inquiring and seeing the places. So many things because these are the upcoming trade. Automobile is going to change in a major way in next 2 years, because from engineering automobile to e-vehicle, and from e-vehicle to hydrogen vehicle, maximum in 4 years' time, we will have the best technology in hydrogen vehicle. All the transportation, that will be also happening. We have the biggest, one of the, if we say best working environment, I think recently Madhya Pradesh has been awarded the 4th best state in the country for working environment. So every possible angle are available. You suggest me anything, you have any question, I'm here to answer. I don't have much to say, I have much to listen and much to work out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, he's a businessman, right? Well, he's a minister. What he did was he was pitching. So I'm sure you all are very familiar as entrepreneurs how you pitch your idea, how you pitch your solution, how you pitch your business, so that you get investments, you get support, you hire people. So for that you need to pitch. So here he did for his state and address the problems that what probably Bangalore as entrepreneurs would face. The amount of time for commute. Now with COVID, it's an accelerated thing to work from anywhere. So here he says there are opportunities with manpower and the kind of testing grounds that they are providing. So that was his pitch. So I thought today, as part of this event, we'll get to hear from the financial expert, our brother Manjunath, who's going to speak now, but I want to know and let you know about the format for today. After his talk, we're going to open up for interaction. That is going to happen through questions from you, and whoever wants to, you would get an opportunity to pitch your business and your idea, what you've been doing, but in a minute or less than a minute only. Right? And then you can follow it up with a question. Very interesting experience I had last week. I was interviewing Dr. Arvind Tyagarajan. He's an engineer, techno entrepreneur, studied here in Chennai. He was mentored by Dr. Abdul Kalam, hardcore Indian at heart. And one day he had a conversation with Dr. Abdul Kalam, and he said there is a lot of opportunities, especially in the healthcare, that he's a serial inventor. When he was in college, he got a grant from Singapore government, and they gave $1 million to help build his technology on the medical devices from Singapore, because when IT India in Bangalore and in IT in India, companies were getting funded based on IT capability. And here, Singapore or other few countries recognized IP capabilities, which is intellectual property capabilities. What is that uniqueness that we can bring, the innovation and the impact that we can create? And then he asked Dr. Abdul Kalam, saying, I'm a hardcore Indian, I want to be here. And when Dr. Abdul Kalam said, it's okay. It's absolutely no problem to be a non-residential Indian. Definitely not acceptable to be non-responsible Indian. What a fantastic statement that Dr. Abdul Kalam gave. Wherever you are, doesn't matter, as far as you're a responsible Indian, and make a big difference. And one of his, during the COVID, one of the inventions that they did is the product Healthy You. A small device which will even enable a granny to hold it to their chest, and it will give 7-lead ECG without any wires. Remote healthcare management, a big disruption, and gives you so many other vitals of a person, supporting the whole healthcare thing. And his previous invention was a stethoscope for a doctor, where they can just hold and they get to listen to the murmurs based on artificial intelligence enabled, and early detection of the heart diseases could happen even in children. And they want to save or screen 1 billion people around the world. On 26th of Jan, our Republic Day, just few weeks ago, it was Madhya Pradesh state, for a tribal village, tribal place, 70,000 people to be screened. They engaged with HD Medical in the US, and they have that India presence, and this is what Madhya Pradesh is coming forward and doing. Okay, kudos and a round of applause for that initiative. Why am I bringing this? Well, technology can make a huge difference. For entrepreneurs, one of the biggest requirement which is there is penetration. Innovation you all do, but how do we penetrate? How do we create an impact? Just not about profits, what is the impact that we are creating, right? And for that, government could play a big role in terms of setting a stage, providing policies which is friendly to penetrate and have the user base and beneficiaries being there and even being the biggest customer. That is what government could do, right? I'm sure if Madhya Pradesh is already, I wanted to give an example so that you for your businesses could also look at what Madhya Pradesh can do. If you are looking at creating impact, let us see what support can come, because they've been proactive, wanting to provide that stage. So with that backdrop and a little example and food for thought for you to start preparing as to how you are going to present, you're going to pitch your company and your business and make it impactful. You know what? He's a businessman, right? So he had a deal before the start of this program. We asked, how much time, and so he said, please do stay for dinner. He said, on one condition. I'll be there to interact and engage with the entrepreneurs. It all depends on how they participate. It all depends on the quality of questions that they're going to ask. It all depends on what impact they want to create. So the ownership is on you now, on how you're going to engage. Okay, it's a challenge, and I know entrepreneurs love challenges, so it's over to you. And for you to think, and the finance angle is going to come. Can I request Dr. Manjunath to come over and share his thoughts?
Thanks, Mr. Lakur. So, respected Honorable Minister, Mr. Saklecha, Mr. LUB President, Mr. Datta, and Innovation Coach, Mr. Lakur, and the Secretary, Mr. Prasanna, and the distinguished guests over here. I'm delighted, and it's my pleasure to be here, being part of this whole exercise and the program, where the theme that has been rightly said is the innovation. The Honorable Minister indicated that whatever activity that we do, it's all in a pocket. Yeah. So how did we get into this? Yeah. But Mr. Lakur already said that, okay, it's because of the innovation and the local. That is, we are absorbing what's happening in the globally, but we are working locally, and we are able to enable all our activity in just a mobile phone or maybe some other gadgets which can be just kept in the pocket. So before we got into all this, there were a lot of people who coded, who thought about it, who took those challenges to ensure that they alleviate the pain of all the people who are having multiple issues in organizing, coordinating, and things like that. Yeah. So coming back to the same theme of it being in a pocket, I can tell you, I've worked in multiple geographies, be it in Asia Pacific or Europe or North America. One of the key elements in all this is, it's not about the money, it's about the people. It is about the people, and it's the enablers that have helped us to achieve everything to be in a pocket. Okay? Money is important, no doubt about it, because at the end of the day, everybody works for money. But the key element in my experience that I've had is how we touch each of the stakeholders, be it the society, be it the government, be it the employees, be it your vendors, your customers, clients, and everyone. Yeah. So as long as we focus on that, money will automatically come. And the Honorable Minister said that in the current situation where there are a lot of enablers, be it the policy, be it the infrastructure, be it the ecosystem that is being created, I think focus should be more on harnessing the potential of our skilled resources in terms of, be it the employees or be it the MSME organizations and things like that, rather than just focusing on money, because in the current policy framework, I think all those money-related issues are taken care of in terms of be it the loan or be it other enablers as well. Yeah. So I don't want to bore you with a lot of financial thoughts because like what Mr. Lokur said that the key is for an interaction at this point in time, and then the Honorable Minister also will be excited to interact with us. And sir, I also wanted to highlight one thing that we have worked with Volvo Eicher commercial vehicle, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and I've been there multiple times. And trust me, actually, the facility is extremely good of theirs, and also the ability to reach there also is equally good. So, in short, I would conclude to say that money is not the only thing. Of course, this is coming from a finance guy, but I still say this, okay? It is how we touch each of the stakeholders and how we enable each of those stakeholders to be successful is what tells us whether we'll get the money or not. And at the end of the day, we may have an idea, but how fast we commercialize and leverage and get the return is more important, okay, than the money. And like what Minister said, profit is just a byproduct, and it is not the main element. Thank you.
Thank you for those words of wisdom. Now, sorry? No, yeah. So we are going to open up for interaction now that they did their pitch, right? And it's opportunity and time for you to pitch.
Good evening, Minister Ji. Ravi Shankar, Managing Director, Create Labs. We are a health technology company, startup recognized and in India. I happened to work for the Bhopal hospital when the gas tragedy happened when I was in Siemens implementing the systems there. Today we are into a technology called 3D bioprinting, where we create using living cells, skin and other human tissues. After 3 years of hard work, we have won a research grant from DBT, Department of Biotechnology. The future, which we want to see if we can do it in MP, is creating a world-class biotechnology lab where human tissues could be created for applications in pharmaceutical testing and in research. So the question is, this is something which is high technology, needs investment support and land. So how could we look at coming to MP and setting up such a world-class facility?
How much land are you looking for?
Land may be about 10 acres.
It would be available at a very, very reasonable, negligible cost. The amount which you pay here is a stamp duty. Approximately in that cost, I'll give you the land. The second question that you need some financial support. There are only two ways. One, investment link support we do isn't today. But I myself is not very convinced, but I can't change everything in a day because it is an investment linked financial support. Usually we give 40% of the investment which land and building anybody does in infrastructure also. Building an infrastructure, equipment, 40% of that we give as a grant. In this case, we can see what investment, because we are also, I have recently got, because the science and technology is also with me. So Government of India has given a grant of 50 crore for setting up a biotechnology park. There, all these issues are already, we are trying to work it out. But you can also join in that, or you can make independently, and what kind of support you need, you spell, then we'll discuss and work it out.
Sir, one last point. Our success here came from the partnership with the academic institution, University of Mysore, and JSS Dental College. So the three of us together won the research grant. So cooperation similar there with an academic institution and an industry where a pharmaceutical testing plant could be set up. That is an enabler along with this linked investment could be ideal.
No, it would be done in MP also. We are doing already. We are already connected few good engineering colleges with few industries. That industry gives the problem. One of the professor with the team of few students, they assigned the problem and they solve. It serves my two purposes. One, these the student, they go to the industrial field and they understand how the industry is taking place, how it is moving. So they are friendly with the industry working, and they get at a very economical way of solution.
Thank you, sir.
We are already doing this.
Very encouraging.
Thank you.
It's one of the other things as a tip, I just want to give you a tip because I'm an entrepreneur and I coach, right? So our minister also hinted that, Madhya Pradesh, first of all, very logically located in the center of the country, and the largest land parcel which is there. So when you are making requests or making your pitch and so on, so think big, because they think it's the largest state. Think big, maybe 10 acres just to start with and a few thousand acres to go with is what the additional data that he would be presenting later. So guys, think big, and here is an opportunity who understands business, and Atmanirbhar Bharat, like in Ahmedabad, I mentor LMCP Incubation Center, where they proudly say that, like we say here in Bengaluru that we are the IT capital, startup capital, they talk about the pharmaceutical capital. The LMCP is like the first college in pharmaceutical after independence. So I'm sure Madhya Pradesh is looking at few of the segments that they want to create as a capital, right? And we would like to know that map and that matching thing that could make a big difference, and it could be a game changer for your startups. So please do look for that and ask such questions and think big, because he wants to create a big impact for you and in Madhya Pradesh. So I'm pitching for him also now. So here you go. Next question.
1 minute.
Yeah.
You said I have already told, we are making few clusters for MSME.
Okay.
I talked more about IT
Yes.
right now, but like furniture, we did a engineering calculation. We could work out that why China was cheaper. Because in India, if we are doing aluminum pressure die casting and all those coming from Punjab is the cheapest. Wood MP is the reasonable. But if I talk about textile, then it goes to Haryana, the thing. If I talk about PU molding, then it goes to somewhere else. To collect from all the places, each of the logistic, the transport cost, the inventory cost, the insurance cost, and the time to procure and to get. All those things if I calculate, and when I see that when wood is being seasoned, at least 30% of wood is chipped off and just wasted, and it's used for the burning for a local people. But when I say that if we do one place in one campus, we made in Indore, 400 acre one campus, I worked out the costing, it works out 20% cheaper than Chinese furniture.
Oh, wow, 20% cheaper than Chinese furniture. Are we taking advantage of Make in India? So, entrepreneurs.
This is what the gap between the thinking and working.
Fantastic.
This is what, how to place, where to place, and whom to place.
Fantastic.
These are the three factors which we have
Opportunity for locally, make it locally and serve globally. It is 20% cheaper than Chinese. So, what a fantastic data point and an opportunity for entrepreneurs, right? Thank you, sir, for sharing that.
I would agree with that because I was in China for a few years. Yeah. So one of the key element, like what Honorable Minister said, everything is that just, you give a shout, he will come and give me the inventory. Yeah. I don't have to carry the inventory at all. Yeah. And at the same time, you need the entire ecosystem. It isn't just 5 to 10 kilometers.
The radius,
So
the just-in-time.
time element, inventory carrying costs, and then even the, they will come and help you in multiple ways, including the government, local municipal authorities and things like that.
Fantastic.
So if we're going to have those kind of cluster kind of a setup, trust me, your overall cost would be down by definitely more than 20%. I mean, we have to leverage that. I mean, it's the same thing in Bangalore, right? We have pretty good engineering institutions, and we tie up with those guys, and then we also give as part of the CSR funding to enable them to do some research, and they become a pipeline for you as a human resource. So your cost of training, your cost of making them productive from day one, is so cheap that this kind of an ecosystem, if we can have it in the manufacturing setup, that would be the best.
Wonderful. So it's a first-hand experience of Dr. Manjunath in Madhya Pradesh. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? Yes, Mahindra. Yeah.
So, good evening, Your Excellency. I see that you're also into science and technology. Want to understand, is there opportunity for us to set up STEM labs in schools? Because that's what is going to make sure that the future generation can make use of the ecosystem which you're creating. So basically what I'm proposing that for all your government schools or even the tier 3 or tier 4 kind of private schools, if we can set up STEM labs, and is there an initiative where we could collaborate? And going at the tertiary level, taking the same concept onto innovation hubs. So there's a fantastic element that you set up STEM labs, and then you set up innovation hubs, and then link it up with MSME. We are already doing this, not only in India. Our firm is already helping a lot of educational institutions in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and various others. So we actually went through the Government of India initiative to those countries. So we are very happy to come to Madhya Pradesh if such an initiative is provided.
Madhya Pradesh, we have about every year 20 lakh students on 10th and 12th board exam they give. I can say in my constituency, I made 4 years before all government 40 schools in my assembly constituency digitally. Last year I did a education with some company in Bangalore. I don't want to share the name right now. It's not good practice. Who is giving them 24/7 online coaching for preparing all the competitive exam. So everything is now placed at everywhere. We are supporting. Last month we have decided we will create approximately 400 schools with a strength of 2,000 students, with all school total infrastructure of each school 40 crores like private any best is doing, and all facility in-house. 50% education should be given digitally and 50% by coach physically there. And the coach who has to teach what subject, he has been given brief in the morning for 1 hour to each teacher to train that what they have to teach today. And then we keep a track. So that much we are thinking it is on the process at a larger scale, but at a smaller scale we have already done and achieved it. So if you are one of them, you are most welcome. Submit your offer, give the detail, we'll pass it to the education system.
Yeah, because we want it to be an initiative both between education department as well as science and technology. The reason being that the STEM education is fundamental for the growth. So, and from STEM education, we are not only looking at creating more engineers or doctors, but also more scientists and those agricultural scientists or anything from at a grassroots level.
So you give your proposal, we'll certainly discuss in depth and work it out.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Mahidara, for that question. And Mahidara comes from finance background, and one of the things he was just mentioning that how the vibrant ecosystem is there for startups in UK, in London. And I used to coach. I coached there in London for startups. Very vibrant environment. And the simplicity in terms of creating a company, it just takes half an hour for you to get started and focus on your business as against so much of the compliance and the statutory things which entrepreneurs, especially the tech entrepreneurs, do not come from that background and so on, right? So I'm sure having a minister from especially the IT, MSME, and with the science and technology. How do we simplify these, and what can Madhya Pradesh do? So extending our conversation as a question to him. And, we need, entrepreneurs need that time to focus on their core business rather than heaviness in terms of compliance, which they do not come. They need professionals like him to support that, right? So how can science and technology and IT help?
See, these three are parallel things. Without technology, can you do anything?
It's become part and parcel today, yes.
So it's a whole body.
Yeah.
If your one part is weak, then also you are handicapped. Yeah. And if your one part is very strong, then also you are handicapped.
Yes, absolutely.
So these are the three things which has to move parallelly. Yes. And it's the first time this combination, and coincidentally, 1st of June, the limit of MSME has been changed from 10 crore to 50 crore. So 90% of the industry falls in MSME. And their major problem is technological change. If I talk about 10 years before, it used to take 10 years to change the technology, or 15 years. And if I talk about 20 years before, they used to plan for 30 years any equipment. Today, we are talking about 5 years maximum for one product life. And at that time, if I say that I'll make a new industrial area, will take about 2 years. You decide today, and I ask you to wait, you book a plot, wait for 2 years, then you go for financial institution, and wait for another year. Then you start your business by the time technology is gone.
Changed.
So all these things is moving in part and parcel is a total package. And without package, you can't do anything. Really. We have given a package that is start your business in 30 days. All government formalities, in principle, would be cleared within 30 days the day you come with the certain requirements. And that is the best thing anybody, because that is why Madhya Pradesh came in ease of doing business, 4th rank in the whole of the country. We have the best, the cleanest city of the country is Indore. The cleanest capital of the country is Bhopal, continuously for last 5 years. So it is not one day. It took a lot of time to develop these kind of systems. So you need a good place to live, you need a good environment to think, you need a good support, and you need that no interference from the government. This is the first time our finance minister had used a word in her speech, that government want to do only governance, not the business. Yeah. There was a comment that you are doing a lot of disinvestment. So they said that no, business is not the part of government's duty. They are here for the governance, they are here to provide a good social security, they are here to provide a basic infrastructure, not profit-making organization.
Yeah, definitely. Government can play a catalyst role for entrepreneurs and businesses to happen, flourish, and the support system.
I only say that once you 30 days you started, then without interference, if they leave the government, you will flow much faster than any other. Let's talk practical in a country.
That's probably the best gift the government can do, not to interfere, right? But rather be a catalyst and support. So next question, yes.
Namaste, sir. My name is Bangalore Sridhar. I've been working for Japan from the last 15 years. And Japan being a hardware solution and India being in a software. And this just a few hours back, Boja called, so please come, you have to meet ministers come. I just understand what is going to happen today evening. But as you know, sir, Japan is facing of an aging population, and we are 10 times in a population compared to Japan. When 5 years back, I thought of, there's a demand supply, especially on IT engineers with a Japanese skill set, especially language and the culture part. And I initiated one Sakura India Foundation in Bangalore 5 years back. And today I'm very happy to say from Namma Bengaluru, I've been sent dispatched 200 plus IT engineers to Japan who are the age of 2021. And yes, sir. And it's a lot of pain and gain to which is start any new initiative. So I just want to understand what Madhya Pradesh MP can see in this part. There's a 8 lakh engineers demand, and it's going to be more and more. It's opportunity for our young Indians. So these are.
See, Japan has a problem. I'm also traveling to Japan from 1977 onwards. It's almost 43 years.
Wow.
Today they have only 12% working population. There is senior citizens, they have a lot of problem. As you have said that Japan last 3 years is arguing leader and opposition, prime minister in the opposition part, that how many people we should give work permit, 8 lakh or 12 lakh. That is also true. But the problem is in Japan, they don't want to invite anybody who is good at Japanese language. They don't talk in English, and that is the biggest problem. Second problem, when we talk grade 1 institution, they don't want to go to Japan. Japan gives slow and smooth study growth, which all these IIT and regional engineering college, they want immediate fast jump. Totally agree with you. So they don't want to prefer to go to Japan, and they think, why should I learn an additional language when I can be comfortable with my traditional language, let it be English, and which we are treat as a local language, second language, we can say. So that is the reason. But I feel Japan is looking much more workers at level 3 and 4, like entertaining senior citizens, entertaining good hospitality, entertaining lot many other activities, education, teaching line. All those lines are much more result-oriented. I did experiment also 2 years before. I sent 15 rural students, 9 boys and 6 girls, to Japan for about 1 month, just study and observe how does we match each other's culture. And after that, I'm trying to teach 2,000 school students Japanese language, and I'm trying to send them for graduation in Japan with a 6 hours working and 4-hour study program. So while doing the graduation there, they'll also earn in 6 hours. So they have to work 30 hours in a week. And they get about 1 lakh rupee as their stipend. And I had given the name like skill development for entrepreneurship. I'm not giving them the job. Because the moment you say that you are an employee and he's an employer, then you start thinking that how much worth I am and how much underpaid I am. It's everywhere at any level you go. So your efficiency relates to that. And once your rapport is down with the country, where we can absorb lot many more people, and this is the issue where our Honorable Prime Minister is also worried, and he's also trying to have a lot of language thing. I think I'd been told that you are having some software to teach the language. We'll discuss a bit later, because nobody else is having that interest, and I think we should not block everybody's time on this individual discussion. But yes, it's a very interesting part, and I'm very seriously working on it. I spend more than 2 crore of from my pocket to do this experiment. Because to sending them for a month, then I have called one more very interesting story I want to say. I called Professor Nobel from Sweden to observe that what is the difference between Japanese and Indian boys and girls. The report, you would be shocked to know, they say each of Indian brain is 3 times faster multidimensional thinking. But whenever 3 are together, it's a big 0. Have you got the meaning? That we have a very poor thought and poor way of collective working.
Yes.
We are individual very strong, very capable. Each one is a master of his field. That's why I use this word. But when we talk collective working, our 50% of the energy goes to observe each other. I just say 30%. One dispute, a small dispute, our 8 hours of mind thinking, he will do that, I will do this, he will go to him, he will. So your efficiency is gone. If in a month you have 2 dispute or 2 argument, let it be family argument, your whole month's labor is gone to 0 because your end of the day profit is 8 to 10% less. So 30 days, if you wasted 2 days, it means your whole month's profit is gone. So you are just living for the sake of living. And that is what the difference between a growth and a success man's story and the other's story. That's all I conclude. Thank you. I think your neighbor is looking for the mic.
Okay. This will be the last pitch as in terms of it had to start on time, so we have to respect that the meeting also need to end on time, and you have an opportunity to interact and share your thoughts or pitch during the dinner time. So this is going to be the last pitch or a sharing. Then we will follow it with the dinner interaction. Right, and I'm sure you got one more tip, right? When for the IT crowd here, we are so used to billing per hour and so on. So our minister is taking to the new level. He was talking in terms of minutes, okay? So guys, the cost in minutes and bill in minutes now. So we are the best exporters, which one time was a problem was the manpower in India. Too much people, the population is the problem. But today that's become the biggest opportunity and the export, to the level that Indian origin is the vice president of America. So, right? So I think we have to consider that nice input that he's given on start thinking in minutes and seconds in terms of your cost and even billing, right? Yeah, over to you.
Would you mind if I come on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm Chief Innovation Officer with Bloom Value Corporation. We just started in the month of November full-fledged, along with Dr. Arun Hampapur here. Bloom Value Corporation is an organization that helps hospitals to get better. While people go to hospitals for getting better, getting well, but we are the ones who help hospitals to improve their services and monitor their services and improve their efficiency. Along with me being Innovation Officer with Bloom Value Corporation, I am also international throwball player. We have 15 gold medals won. The objective here is to bring sports, healthcare for patients, and technology together, and also increase the employment opportunity for several people who are sportsmen. And this is an initiative. I'm actually one of the directors in the International Throwball Federation. We would like to look at how throwball can be used as a therapy for patients, and the experiment is in progress right now. But we want to adapt this not just in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh has a lot of throwball players, by the way, and we have played with Madhya Pradesh team many a times. We want to bring this as a big initiative that can grow across for improving the health of all the patients and the general public. Throwball can be played even by people who are 60s and 70s too. it's not a very stamina game kind of a thing. It can be played by any people. And also there is a scientific way how it can help improve the patient's health. That's why we are looking at. And when we do that, for example, if we make the throwball players as throwball coaches area, but this is something which can help them increase the employability of sportsmen. If software engineer is working in software field, if doctor is working in their own profession, why can't the sportsmen work in their own profession? That's a issue we want to address through this forum. Would you be interested in supporting? And from Bloom Value Corporation side, we have started remote health monitoring for the patients. And we want to help when somebody is going through these kind of therapies, and even the people who don't want to come to hospital, but they can be supported from home. We can help with the vital monitoring and such sort of technical facilities. And this can go not just in Madhya Pradesh, not just in India, but it can go worldwide. Would you be interested in supporting this?
What kind of support are you?
Okay.
What kind of support?
There are two types. Number one, in order to execute this particular thing, we may need some amount of funding, because we need to educate both the sides of the society here. One is the doctor's population, and the other one is the patient population, and also the player population.
Basically, you are looking sportsmen's healthcare only, na?
Sportsmen's healthcare and remote health monitoring for the patients.
For remote, we are working out one step ahead of you.
Great, thank you.
Let me explain you. No, we are talking of preventive health measure. In my assembly, I have more than 1 lakh, I have about 2 lakh population in my assembly constituency, from where I represent for last 20 years. I have data of 1 lakh population, their ECG on my computer.
Great.
They're all the heart, liver, kidney, bone strength, everything on my thing, and my office is alarming them what care they have to take. If you have to go into these kind of steps, then it's a totally different ballgame. For one product, yes, certainly for sports, special injury, special treatment, our sports minister is very aggressive. She's a lady, Yashodhara Rajesh Scindia, from the Gwalior family. And she's really involved by her heart, full heart strength for any sports support she gives. And she is supporting. But I think that we should think ahead of it. We should not talk only one field, we should talk about preventive of the health, because our health standards are going day by day down.
Yes.
Our aging factor is going down. And this corona disease has given lot many alerts to every Indian that how should their food habit, how should their working habit, all those things are the subject of coming 2 years. But yes, there are data available and people are available, because the next phase is Government of India wants telemedicine. How will come telemedicine? It's a work of few people. Telemedicine will come once you have all the data of every patient digitally transmission. Am I clear? I'm trying to work out that every district level, one super diagnostic center should be there. And that data should be transmitted, because we cannot complete in next 10 years, next 20 years. It will take time to provide enough number of doctors. So do we allow for next 20 years short of doctor people to suffer? Or we do go digitally and transmit and give telemedicine? Because Supreme Court doesn't permit to give the advice without data transmission. personal. So these kind of things, lot many new are coming. But yes, in health, you come anytime to Bhopal. I'll connect you to Yashodhara Raje, or you can directly mail. She will be very happy to entertain any sports support, because she's always there with them. For 15 years, she's changed so many portfolio, but she always kept sports as her portfolio. Did not allow any other minister to go into that field.
So I
Thank
think,
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think even in sports, like in other industry segments, it's also technology has become a part and parcel. So it's sports tech is also going to be there. So that way, the telemedicine that you're talking about and technology in the sports area might be of interest. And I heard that somebody who's just got an award in innovation today and from the technology space. So if you permit, there is one more question that they would want, and Manikanta is
You can
just
have 2-3 more
recipient.
questions. I don't have, because I have very clearly commitment that I will not join dinner. I'll rush, but I will prefer to answer.
Okay.
Because I don't want unanswered person to go out.
Oh, wonderful. So here is, he's not
Yeah.
having food here, but ready for food for thought. So opportunity for you to ask a few more members who want to ask question. You can pitch and ask a question.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I'm really sorry to stand between your dinner. I'm extremely sorry about that. My name is Manikantan. I work as a Chief Technology Officer for Upstream Technologies. Our core proficiency is into data center care, data center operations and solutions. I was quite excited the fact that you have already been involved in developing a data center in Madhya Pradesh as well for about 200 crores, as a matter of fact. Now, for us, the primary focus is, the human resource is the fundamental asset for us. Because our prime focus is, there are about 8.3 million data centers across the world, and today data center operations is the biggest challenge across the world because of the skill deficiency, right? So here in Bangalore, we have our headquarters. So fundamentally what we try to do is we build the best of the capabilities with the upcoming talents, especially people who are within the institution, people who are graduating out of the institution. We induce them the utmost capabilities so that they become the industry ready in terms of niche capabilities, especially on data center domain, infrastructure domains. So I have two things here. One is I don't want to discuss or request for a penetration kind of approach. Rather, I would like to propose an aid, right? So if Madhya Pradesh is interested, for us to venture in and help resources to develop their abilities there, we are more than happy to collaborate here, because we have been here in the industry as masters, and we've been helping a lot of counterparts and investors here in Bangalore itself and across Southeast Asia. So we're more than happy to do that. So we'd like to hear from you.
See, look, it's an open bidding system.
Yeah.
You bid it, you gain it.
Absolutely.
Be competitive, be strong, you'll get it. It's a government open, transparent system is there. Yes, you need any information for that, you come anytime to Bhopal, I'll connect you the team who is planning, and pre-tender bid is going to happen in next 15 to 30 days. So you can join that pre-tender bid and you can give your all possible suggestion. You are welcome. And what I suggest, since we are running on overtime, the time limit is over according to you, so we should be short and pointed question. That's the request to all other. So you come anytime for anything, you are most welcome.
So my question was as simple as this. Sorry, sir, I could not convey the message. My question is as simple as this. Not about the tender, not about the investment. The question is, if you could enable us with a channel to help the resources in Madhya Pradesh to gain the capabilities to become future technologists.
So how do you want, what kind of support you want?
Engagement with the Madhya Pradesh universities and
yes, you are, come, I'll connect you. I'll connect you to technical education minister, and I can connect you to few VCs of the technical universities. You put your word. I already had spoken that we are trying to connect institution to industry for problem solution.
Right.
It's a part of the same system.
Okay.
We
Thank you very
can do
much.
that. You are most welcome. Monday and Tuesday, usually I'm in Bhopal.
All right.
So you come anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a very warm, response in terms of you welcome to, ask for help. I'm ready to help is a fantastic gesture. Thank you so much, sir. And somebody else also had a question. Yes?
My name is Ravi Mahadev, and I represent a company called as Next Element Private Limited. We are an education technology company. We are working on automating the education system. Currently, we are working with Karnataka government to automate around 820 schools to automate their entire operations. Our main intention is the focus on the students and the teachers. So using this particular technology, we'll be finding out the special talent that is there with the students, with the data analysis that we are doing, and also identify the gaps that the teacher might have with respect to their teaching capabilities. So we are working very closely with them. This data can be very, very critical for the state government to improve the quality of education, and we intend to actually work with your government to take it forward in the same way.
Well, thank you. I have already told that we have done 40 schools in my assembly.
Got it, sir.
And we are welcome. We will be coming shortly for another 400 schools, government level, to do this automation in next 1.5 years.
Got it, sir.
So you put up your proposal, and they will examine and they'll tell you our education department.
Great, sir. We would
give
need
the
a connect to the
proposal.
education department.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You give the proposal.
Sure.
If those entrepreneurs who have anything to propose to Madhya Pradesh government and where you see you could add value and support, you're welcome to write to info@lubkarnataka.org. I repeat, it's info@lubkarnataka.org. And Laghu Udyog Bharati Karnataka would be happy to coordinate and support in the communication with the ministry and facilitate the whole process. So thanks to Laghu Udyog Bharati for coming forward to make this support system made available for you all. So please make a note.
Thanks a million. I had forgotten to say thanks to them.
Yes.
In my communication. So you did a good job. I must say that it's my thanks which transmitted through you.
So actually it is that support system which makes a difference. Anybody has a pitch to make or a question? So I think it's time to actually present the vote of thanks, and for that I would request Mr. Narayan Prasanna to make you all prasanna. And before he does that, right, I thought we will be a little extra. Do you all agree that they've been a little extra and taken this effort to be here, share and be open, so open that, accessible, which is unfamiliar in India in the political system, right? So I'm really touched and moved with that. So I thought, let's be a little extra. Let's start with a round of applause for that attitude and wanting to start on time, being committed, wanting to make a difference, bringing in entrepreneurial world to go beyond the profits, uphold the principles and make India proud, right? These are all the fantastic things that we did get, and by example, by demonstration, right? So I thought we will be a little extra, and can I invite you gentlemen who actually made the first pitch and made a proposal, created an impact, and fantastic. I would like to have you to present this to the minister as your token of appreciation for they being a little extra. Yeah. So that's a little extra for you, sir, for being that extraordinary person that who you are. A round of applause for our minister. They are setting new stage, new example, so fantastic. Somebody who has been in the finance field, understands the pains and understands the power of what money could do. Can we have Mahidara for you to come and present this to Dr. Manjunath? So this is a little pre-stage setting for before your Thanksgiving, sir. And, Laghu Udyog Bharati people, they've been working so much of effort, and sometimes it's a thankless job, right? It's beyond their work. But they still do it passionately because this is the way they want to give it back to the society and community. So here we have somebody who's chairing one initiative of that kind. Can we have you to present this to our Shrikant Datta? Manikanta, young innovator, award-winning innovator just very recently. Can we have you here to present this to another innovator here, right, who's created an impact and now a General Secretary to Laghu Udyog Bharati. So here it is for you to present. They've all been a little extra and demonstrated that. Thank you, everyone. And here it is for you to address the thanks to everyone.
Thank you. Shri Om Prakash Saklecha ji, Honorable Minister for MSME, ITBT and Science and Technology, Government of Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Manjunatha Adabettu, CFO of Aptiv India, our President Shri Shrikant Datta, Shri Naveen Lakuru, Chief of Innovation Coach Institute of Inspiring Innovation, Shri H.V.S. Krishna, past President of Laghu Udyog Bharati India and Chairman of IMS Foundation, distinguished invitees, guests, a very good evening to you. It is my privilege and pleasure to express vote of thanks on behalf of Laghu Udyog Bharati. Sir, my sincere thanks to you, Shri Om Prakash ji, for your gracious presence in this evening and encouraging words on various measures that Madhya Pradesh government has taken to encourage industries and ITBT segments. Thank you, sir. Dr. Manjunath, Chief Financial Officer of Aptiv India, for sharing your inputs on finance as well as automotive segments. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Shri Dattatri, Vice Chairman of KSSIDC, and also Shri H.V.S. Krishna, IMS Chairperson, and Shri Mohan Suresh ji, Council Member of Rawanda. Thank you, sir, for making it possible in this evening. I would like to thank our Laghu Udyog Bharati as well as Tech Bharat team, consists of Shri Bhojaraj ji, Karan Kumar ji and team. Thank you for making this program this evening with the very short notice. Thank you, sir. I once again thank all of the participants you made it possible for this evening with the very short notice. Thank you. And I also invite you for the nice dinner arranged here. Thank you.
Thank you.